it's a little random that I would be coming here to talk about something related to the election. I acknowledge that. I've never done anything like this before in my life. I'm a registered independent, so I've voted for Democrats and Republicans and third-party candidates, depending on the type of election that it was, and never had any desire to volunteer, never thought I'd do anything remotely like this. And the reason that I got involved in the Obama campaign as an independent goes back about 4 years ago. I was living down in Texas, right outside of Houston, and there was a buddy of mine down there who had just graduated high school about a year and a half before I was there. He was 19, maybe 20 at the time, and he was working this minimum wage job at a trucking company, and he was trying to save up money for college, and he couldn't afford college. That was the only job he could get. So he was a receptionist at this trucking company. He would cut up empty boxes, put them in the recycling bin, things like that. And his phone rang one day, and the person on the other line said they were calling from a company called Halliburton. Are you guys familiar with Halliburton? Yeah. Right. So, Halliburton's Dick Cheney's old company. They're involved in Iraq War reconstruction. And they called my buddy up, and they said that they would offer him $90,000 if he agreed to go to Iraq for them to drive a truck for the private sector. And so he called me up, and he called a few of our other friends up and said, "What do you guys think I should do?" And we talked about it for a really long time, and we talked about how, especially at a community college or a state school, that 90 grand could pay for your undergrad education, it could pay for grad school, you could probably put a down payment on a small apartment. But the trade-off was that he wasn't sure if he would come back. It's not like this was military service. This was a job for a private contractor, a for-profit company with no protection. And so the more we talked about it, the more we realized no matter what he decided to do, ultimately, this was just a really sad thing, that the world's richest, most powerful country could only offer a buddy of ours who wanted to go to college two options: either minimum wage or $90,000 in the middle of a war zone. So we were watching the Democratic National Convention, kind of yelling at some of the stuff that people were saying and listening to the rest of it. And then the keynote address started, and this skinny guy with a funny name and big ears started talking, Barack Obama's keynote address. And we were kind of floored at one particular line when Barack said, you know, there shouldn't be blue states or red states, we should focus on being the United States. Barack and Michelle Obama only recently paid off their student loans. I think it was about 4 years ago. Anyone know why they were able to pay them off? It was Barack's book deal. That's what let him pay off student loans. He went to Harvard Law School. When he graduated, he turned down all these corporate law job offers that were going to pay him hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And instead he became a civil rights lawyer, and I think his starting salary was 12 grand. And that's why he certainly wasn't able to make a dent in his student loans until after his book deal. So that was impressive because I'm sure all of you are on some form of financial aid. Barack's got a $4,000 tax credit for everyone who wants to go to college. So the first $4,000 of college is paid for whether you're an only child or whether you have 12 brothers and sisters. On top of that, he's going to increase the Pell Grant. And on top of that, he's going to restructure the privatized student loan system, which I'm assuming affects most of you in this room. The fact that we're even able to sit in this room on a beautiful college campus means that all of us have an incredible amount of privilege that I hope our friends have. And hopefully we can spend the next 4 years celebrating what we spent the last 8 years mourning. So thank you guys so much for having me.